that left. And part of it was getting this program back to where it should be, winning championships and winning games. And that's what most of the focus was from that moment until now.
What was different? Was there a change in this offseason? Was there something unique?
It wasn't drastic stages besides the coaching staff changed a little bit. It was mostly just a larger focus between us as the players, and then the coach is a little bit more on us, but it was mostly just us as players being more focused. And not that we weren't focused last year, but we realized that what we did last year didn't work. We need to grow up and move better.
Where have you seen improvement? Through summer ball?
Yeah, through summer ball, our play, our leadership between the returning guys, and then off the course stuff as well. It all goes together. Everything has gotten better since then. There
is some new blood. There is a freshman class, but for the most part, it's 6-7 guys who played a lot of basketball last year, all trying to do it again. A healthier Jay Sean, obviously, is a big difference.
Right.
Anything else that we might not be thinking of that you all will think of as a significant change to this year?
I don't know if it's been noticeable, but there was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, I think. It was a lot different than it was last year.
How much of an impact is that stuff?
It's a huge impact. It's the little things that, like last year was turnovers, free throws and all that stuff. Just focusing on those things, making sure everybody knows the plays, the defensive schemes, going into the season is going to be huge for us.
Was it just a lot of time spent studying and just practicing those small things and making muscle memory?
Yeah, muscle memory. We watched a lot of film, whether individually or with the coaches, and then just hammering in defensive and offensive principles.
What's your guys' expectations for this year? Where do you think that you guys can go?
We had with 6-7 big returning guys, leading scorers, rebounders, everything we need for deep running, the conference tournament, a regular Big Ten season, the NCAA tournament.
How big is that to have all those guys coming back?
It's huge. Most teams don't have the kind of luxury we have in having all the returning guys and the big pieces returning. So for us, we got to take advantage of that. Be better and grow as people and play basketball players.
Can you address section 2? What it's like having everybody?
I think
playing with guys you're familiar with.
I think it's great. We all have a great feel for each other. We know each other's hot spots. We know where we can get each other the ball. So I think it's great. We're going to feed off of that chemistry a lot, especially in big time games, and we're all looking forward to being on the court at the same time.
What was the biggest difference between this summer and last summer?
I say this summer, everybody was eager, to learn, and everybody was highly motivated. Obviously, the way we finished last season is obviously not where we want to be. So each day, everybody came in with a chip on their shoulder, and we're just trying to get better and prove people wrong every single day.
Did Thad and the coaches continue to drive that point home? You guys made the NIT last year. You missed the NCAA tournament.
Every time we mess up, in practice in the weight room, he constantly reminds us, and I think that's good for us. It keeps us, motivated. It keeps us, level-headed. Even going into the season, if we have a big winning streak, he probably will still, put that in the back of our brain that we can't let up. We got to stay focused and stay focused on the task at hand.
How much of a help is it to have some of these young guys come in, and maybe bring some a renewed mindset? You guys have a chip on your shoulder, but they're excited to be here.
We love it. We love their excitement each day. We're the older guys now. We can't go how we want to go. So it's really good to have fresh breath of life instilled in this basketball team. So I can't wait to see what they bring to the table.
Do you think that they're vying for some starting spots? Do they have the opportunity?
Yeah, that's what we want. We want every day to be competitive. We want every day to be a war because, it's like fighting with your little brother. You fight with him every day, but then as soon as you go against somebody else, you guys are together and you guys want to rip whoever comes against your way's head off. So hopefully that mindset comes when we play other people.
How much of a distraction was it to have the guys transfer, guys leave the way they did? Is that much of a distraction for the rest of you?
No, I don't think so. We wish them, best of luck. They made a decision that was best for them and their families, but we always focused on, Ohio State basketball and what we need to do as a program to reach that elite level because that's what we need to get back at. They left, we got to move on to the next page, and the next page is, getting better and not ending up where we ended up last year. So that's our main focus.
Last year at this time, we were talking to you guys about the young guys, and a lot of those guys are gone, and that was kind of an issue throughout the year getting those guys going. What makes this year different? With another group of young guys, how do you make sure that you they're ready to go at the beginning of the season, and you kind of avoid some of those pitfalls of last year for either of you or for both of you?
I think, history is the best teacher, experience is the best teacher, so we know when something is a problem, we nip it in the bud as soon as we see it. And I don't think we did that, last year. I don't think we have. I think this team is a lot more mature than last year's team by far. Like I said, they're all ready to play. They're ready to contribute at a high level, and that's what we need from them. They're all ready to be competitive, and that's what we need from them going in.
Did you guys not see and notice what was going on last year? Is that why it continued, or did guys see it, just didn't speak up? What happened?
Toward the end, kind of tell, but we didn't really know how to handle it because I've never been in a situation where someone has transferred. It's mostly just been declaring for the draft and then leaving. So I know handling multiple guys kind of feeling and wanting to leave. We didn't really know how to handle it, and then what all happened. I think this year, looking back on it, we understand how to, if that happens, deal with it.
Like along with that, I think we pretty much blamed it too much on youth. Freshmen this, freshmen that, make mistakes. I don't think it's going to be any of that this season. Everybody's going to be treated, equally regardless of year. So, there isn't going to be freshman mistakes. Everybody's in this together, and if one of us messes up, then we all mess up. I think that's the biggest difference that we didn't have last year.
Did those guys kind of drag you down a little bit? Is that, not that you feel guilty about it, but what do you learn from that?
I'm not going to say that it dragged us down, but I will say that we could have done things better as a team, and them and us could have handled things better. Like I said, they held us back, but I think obviously it could be better. We weren't as good as we could have done last year handling the situation.
All right, what was your guys' reaction to Thad wearing the jersey?
Tears.
That made my day.
Tears.
Are you as upset as I am that he is not wearing it right now to talk to the media?
I am actually.
I'm actually lucky that I've actually seen something like that because I've never seen him with no sleeves.
He's got some guns, man.
You be lifting. You're not lifting with us.
He lifts with us. I always see him with like long sleeves and pants, so I'm actually lucky to see him with something like that. Something.
Thanks, guys.